The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Betty.
Recently, I was at a local Mexican restaurant and a robot on wheels came out around the corner and served me chips and salsa.
What in the world?
And I was shook
Oh,
to
yeah.
my core.
You have to be. You're like, what just happened
Yeah.
here? Did they do it well?
It seemed to have voice modulation issues. Like, it was like, please take your chips and salsa. Like, stop yelling at me.
Demanding.
But robots are slowly taking over the jobs that used to help give us human interaction throughout the day, whether we wanted it or not. And one of those jobs is cashier jobs. More and more self-checkout kiosks are becoming more popular. And most choose them because they're faster than an in-person cashier. And there isn't that awkward small talk that we have to put up with.
Well, yeah, I love the things, but my wife doesn't. I'm like, I don't understand why you don't want to go through this. Do your own thing. They've gotten so good. Like, even it used to be like, if you had produce, you just didn't go because you didn't have a UPC. You couldn't look it up. But they've all gotten so good at that that I don't care what I have. I will go through that just because I can do it faster. And I don't have to have a conversation. I love it.
Right. And while both of these are great reasons to wait in line for a self-checkout kiosk, even when there is an in-person cashier waving at you going, hi,
No, I'm
I'm
good.
available.
Good. I'm right down here. I'm going to stay right down here. I hope you have a great day.
Psychologists are claiming the good doesn't outweigh the bad because loneliness is becoming more and more of a problem for people. Psychologists say that even though that interaction between you and the cashier isn't a long one, it still helps maintain emotional well-being, making you feel important and like a human.
I think that if you had better interactions with people at the cashier line, then that would be true. But so many times you're there with people who don't care about their job, they'd act like they don't want to be there, that I'd rather not have that interaction. And you don't know who you're going to get. Now, when I go to McDonald's, and I go to my McDonald's lady, and I get Nubia, I purposely go there for Nubia. My wife did a McDonald's run for me yesterday because I had a meeting, and she's like, I saw your girl Nubia. I'm like, isn't she the best? But, like, see, that is, if every company did it like that, then I would cherish the interaction. But more often than not, the interaction isn't good.
But those relationships are not going to build because, you could have a friend in some cashier that's down the street, but those relationships, you'll never find them because of the kiosks that are available. And so I think the possibility is not there anymore.
Right. I give Nubia Christmas presents.
Wow.
She's that good.
You wouldn't give a kiosk a Christmas present?
No, that is very true. But again, she does it well. You know, I think that's the difference. I think what happened is people over time, so many people did it poorly that you just write it off and it's just easier. But my wife, she still loves doing the Walmart. She will not, I have to force her to go to the kiosk at Walmart, and I don't understand why.
She won't explain it?
No, I don't even think she can explain it. I like the Walmart checkout line. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll go do that today. We'll take another hour.
But then she'll leave you to do the awkward small talk.
Oh, absolutely she does. Uplifting WayFM, this is the Wally Show, and every year Betty Rock looks forward to pumpkin spice time when it's coming out.
Me?
Yeah.
You too.
Okay, full disclosure, there's one pumpkin spice product that I absolutely love, and I'm actually eating right now. It is the pumpkin spice bagel. It's a game changer. It's a little sweet. It's a little something. I don't even know what pumpkin spice is, but it's delicious.
Smells good, too.
Yeah, thank you. And so that's what I'm doing right now. But you get a pumpkin spice latte, I think, every year.
Yeah, I do the basic girl thing of going to Starbucks and ordering the latte.
Nice.
You've done your fall candles, too, recently.
I love fall candles. Fall is my favorite season. So even when there's even a whisper of it, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, here's what I want to do. There's so many products that are pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice that I want to play a little game where it's very simple. We'll have someone call, and all they have to do is tell me if the object or the product I'm giving them is an actual pumpkin spice product or if it's one we made up. Okay, very simple. We'll show you here. We'll do a practice round here. How about this one? Pumpkin spice Listerine strips. You know those Listerine strips for your breath? Pumpkin spice.
Yes.
It's gotta be.
What?
Like, it's gotta be real?
You think it's real?
Oh, yeah.
It's pumpkin spice everything.
I mean, why not?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's real? Why would you not think that's real?
Because no one wants to, we all love pumpkin spice, but that's not what you put as a
breath freshener?
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Peppermint and spearmint.
I know, but that's old school. Like for a little bit of time every year, we should all have our breath smell like pumpkin spice. It would be glorious.
No.
Right?
I would do it.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. Like I'm doing it right now with my bagel.
Yeah.
Well,
Obviously, 50-50 split. One of you is right, and that would happen to be Betty Rock today.
so I'm right.
You're right.
It is not
It
a
is
real
not
thing.
a real thing.
Okay,
It's
good.
fascinating.
That is one that is made up.
Good.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
how you do it. And Betty Rock and Gavin can weigh in and maybe kind of help you navigate this. But you'll get 3 pumpkin spice products, get 2 out of 3 right, and you will win a prize. So here we go. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number if you want to play. 855-33-WAY-FM. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Dawn, welcome. It's pumpkin spice time. Pumpkin spice everything, it seems. Are you a big fan of that time of year and the pumpkin spice products?
Not really.
I don't know if this will be easier for you, where you aren't actively seeking out pumpkin spice products. So we'll see how you do. I'm going to give you a few products. All you have to do is tell me if it's a real pumpkin spice product or not. So here we go. Pumpkin spice bathroom wipes. What do you think?
Oh my gosh.
And they are just what you think. I'm going, yeah. So pumpkin spice bathroom wipes. Do you think that is real or not, Dawn?
I say not real.
Not real.
I would agree with Dawn because why would anyone want that? I have so many questions.
Yeah, well,
Me too.
you guys are both wrong. That is a real product.
That is disgusting.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that one didn't go your way. We got to get a couple right here to stay in this thing, Dawn. Pumpkin spice nasal spray. Vicks nasal spray, pumpkin spice edition.
Not real.
Not real.
Yeah, because you don't want to shove a pumpkin up your nose.
Well, the pumpkin spice nasal spray would be great. I use Vicks when I get congested. I think it's great, and it just never it doesn't taste good. It doesn't smell good. It burns. Pumpkin spice would be a lovely change.
No, because then that's going to make it addictive. People will just be spraying it up there when they don't even.
And they
need
already
to.
say it is, so you might be right about that. And maybe that's why they have avoided it. That is fake.
Yay!
Nicely done.
Way to go, Don.
Okay, so you guys are doing well. You have to get this last one right to win. Here we go. This is going to be tough. Pumpkin spice Axe body spray. You know the thing teenagers use instead of showering. Pumpkin spice Axe body spray. You think that is
Yeah,
real?
I could actually see that one happening because, guys are desperate to get a girl.
Yeah.
But then again, are they that desperate?
And girls do like pumpkin spice scenting, but does a guy want to smell like pumpkin spice? So
Okay.
what do you think? Are you going to stick with it or are you going to change it up?
I'm going to stick with real.
You're going to stick with real. Oh, that was a real bad decision.
No!
Pumpkin spice body spray by Axe is actually fake. Who would have thought?
That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I really thought they would have gone with that.
Yeah, you would think, all these little girls wanting to go to Starbucks and get themselves a pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know.
Smell like one. You might can get one.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that didn't work out for you today, Dawn, but we have a lovely parting gift for you. It is pumpkin spice bathroom wipes.
Yay!
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and you may have heard us talk a lot about our prayer wall last week during our support drive, which is a great thing where people can go and post prayer requests and pray for each other and get notifications that they've been prayed for. And by the way, thank you again. Support drive ended at 100%, and we ended early, and that was because of faithful people like you that believe in this ministry and chose to get behind it and support it. Huge, huge, big deal, so thank you. But we like to share with you some things that are are happening on the prayer wall. And I think Frankie is the perfect example of why the prayer wall exists.
Yeah, Frankie said, I've been diagnosed with cancer, and already the financial aspect is overwhelming me to the point of what I guess I would call a near panic attack. I feel I can post on the prayer wall and not feel ashamed of my circumstance, no judgment. I don't feel I can freely share where I currently am with people in my life because everyone believes my life is just about as good as it gets, and I am not a person that would ever need help from anyone. If they only knew.
Yeah.
I ask you to pray that somehow my needs will be met and that I can have the peace and calmness that only He can give me to get through this turbulent and unexpected time.
That's somebody that's trying to walk something alone. And I get it. I totally get it. And I would be so stressed about the finances, and I would make poor health decisions based on the finances. You know, so like I fully understand where this person is coming from. But just the fact that they're like, I can't share this with people in my life. This is where we get to rally around somebody and be like, all right, well, let's pray for them. Then click the box and they get notified. Frankie will get a notification. It's like, hey, somebody just prayed for you. And I cannot tell you how many times I've heard from people that those notifications always came at the right moment. And I truly believe that, and I love that, and I know that that's going to be the case for Frankie as well. And so again, you're just part of the fabric of this ministry when you support it, when you're part of it on the prayer wall, and we can't thank you enough.
Just text the word pray to 91979 and we'll send you a link to the prayer wall. That's pray to 91979. It's easy to let the fear of the unknown keep us from doing something that is good for us. But going back to school might not be quite what you think.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears going back to school was I'd have to watch a ton of online lectures, and I kind of have a problem staying awake during stuff like that. But it was so different than I had imagined, and way better.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I was going to have to take a bunch of tests, which I am not a fan of. But instead, I was able to write papers, which for me was way better.
Plus, you have the flexibility to work in school around your work and life schedule. Another big fear I had is, what if I don't understand something? What do I do?
Yeah, CCU, they foster community with your classmates, and they are a great resource. And Colorado Christian University has very responsive online professors who are there to help you so you are never alone as an online student at CCU.
Learn more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
When you say that glass is half full,
Instead of just being half full,
or is it half empty?
we'll top off your glass. It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
So the joy of going from an hourly paying job to a salary job can be great, but it can also be short-lived when you realize you don't get paid for overtime. Wah, wah. Yeah, Betty's like, I know, right? That's the blessing and the curse of salary jobs. And I know, like, for us, we work way more than 40 hours a week, but I've always just accepted that's part of the job. I mean, it's just, like, that's how I was raised. That's how I was raised in this business. It is just is what it is. But, you know, for some people, you know, it takes time away from family and things like that.
Yeah.
And so they want to be compensated for that. Well, there's new legislation that could change that for a lot of American workers. Hourly people are paid at least time and a half if you go over 40 hours. And now salary workers, if this legislation passes, will be entitled to overtime pay if you go over 40 hours. But there's a limit that you have to be making less than $55,000 a year. So if you make less than $55,000 a year, the new rule would be you would get overtime for all those extra hours that you put in.
Well, I think that I know that you say, well, that's just the way it is. But to me,
I want more. Compensate me.
I think that there is a healthy balance there where, you know, if you have multiple kids and they've got different things that they've got, like activities they got to go to, you know, you and your wife, y'all had one kid.
Right.
And so, you know, it
By choice.
Right, but you weren't like outnumbered.
Right.
So if you get more than two kids, then it just becomes this craziness. And if you're trying to work a full-time job, I think that helps to compensate.
Yeah, I think the danger of this is if companies are aware of this, they always do this anyway. Like when you have salary employees, you hold their hours under 40 hours so you don't have to pay the overtime.
Right.
And this could be a thing too where they go, well, fine, we're just going to, instead of starting you off at a $55,000 salary, we're going to start you off at 54. We're going to work you just as hard and we're not going to pay you that extra $1,000. Or it could limit your upside too of growing your salary,
Right.
know. So that could be the problem with it. But proponents say that some 300,000 people in manufacturing jobs, 180,000 in hospitality, and 600,000 in healthcare. People could be affected by this legislation, and it could work out in their benefit. So that could be a good thing for them. Side note here, if you're watching some of the news coming out today in the aftermath of the hurricane that hit Florida and then went through Georgia and the Carolinas, I guess Charleston got severely flooded. We're still waiting to hear a little bit more from Tallahassee and some of our stations there as to how they fared. But if you want to help out, you see the pictures and you go, oh man, I'd love to do something about this. I don't know what I can do. The best thing you can do is not run down there. There was a mentality for a while. You're like, oh, I should go help. And I get that. But when you get down there, you tax the resources that they have, the limited resources that they have. And it's best initially to let professionals go in, do it. And then your church builds something a few weeks from now and goes down and ministers to people and helps them. That's great. But one way to help out is to support Convoy of Hope. They are on the ground doing great work there. They will be. They're always on the heels of disasters. They do amazing work. And if you want to support what they're doing, just text the word convoy to 91979 and we will send you a link. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. And sometimes you have people in your life to help you find out if you are indeed a bad person. And, we do this for each other. We keep each other in check. And Betty Rock told me something that she does the other day that I'm like, what? I was stunned.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal until I found myself out in public, and then I realized it was. So I was shopping, and, the day before, my phone, if you have an iPhone, sometimes it'll just randomly go off, and it's so loud and abrupt. And it ends up being like a government alert, like for maybe a storm in your area, or an alert of like a silver alert, sure. Someone's missing. Anyways, so I just was like, they scared me so often that I was just like, okay, I'm just turning those off. Like the government alerts, I'm turning them off. I didn't think nothing of it. Then I find myself shopping one day, and all the phones around me start going off abruptly. Like
all the good people around you.
And come to find out, there was a silver alert.
Yeah.
So a senior citizen was missing, and everyone was getting this notification to be on the lookout for this person.
Instantly heightened. Let's do something good for humanity. Let's keep an eye out.
Everyone seemed to notice that in my area of the aisle, there wasn't a notification going off. And I felt the chill of everyone's eye on me. And
they're all like, why is her phone? What possible reason could there be for her phone not going off? And then Betty feels guilty, so she starts going, quack, 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 quack.
I mean,
why didn't your phone go off? A technical glitch?
Yeah, I had it off.
Yeah, you turned off notifications.
I have an Android.
No, you turned off. She turned off like silver alerts and amber alerts.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
It is.
Well, I found that out. A lot of people let me know.
Social justice, it's social pressure. Sometimes is a good thing.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a bad person.
Not maybe. So we're gonna do this for you. We're gonna help you out. We're gonna talk through some things with you. Am I a bad person because maybe you've had people in your life say, yeah, you really should not turn off your alerts because that helps other people, and you're still like, I don't know, or whatever it is for you. Like, what is that thing that you are questioning? Does this make me a bad person or not? You're the person that like goes in the merge lane all the way to the end and then whips in last minute.
Oh, you are the worst. I'll answer that question.
Yeah, let me tell you, that's not even a debate. You are the worst. Okay, so we'll walk through this with you right now, and we'll walk through it with grace and kindness. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. You don't have to give your real name if you choose not to. That's fine. You can be anonymous, but 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll walk through it now. Chrissy, what is your situation?
So my situation is actually the same as Betty's. I have all of mine turned off.
Oh, so have you found yourself in a similar situation as me where you're like out and about and one goes off and everyone looks at you like you're the most horrible person ever?
No, because honestly, they almost always all go off when we're at church in the middle of service. Oh. And so then everyone is so distracted by everyone's phones going off that nobody notices that mine doesn't go off. So I don't think you're a bad person for turning them off.
Well, thank you, Chrissy.
For the record, I think you're both bad people.
Well, coming from you, that doesn't really matter much.
These are important notifications.
Honestly, we get the notifications through all of social media because as soon as the phones go off, it's all over Facebook. And then you're going to see it either way, but now you're not like startled in the middle of work or whatever.
That's a great point.
See
That's a great point because Wally doesn't have a Facebook account. So really, you could be a bad person because you're not being informed.
No, I have my phone on. I have my alerts on, so I am getting informed.
No, I'd still say you're a bad person.
Nice spin on that, but doesn't land. So, Sarah, what is that thing for you?
My husband says that I'm not passionate about things. Like, I don't go overboard getting super involved in whatever my next project is. I don't know. Like, when he gets into something, he is all in, feet first, head first, everything. And I'm just like, I'd like to try this out and see if I like it.
That's funny because that's how me and my wife are. If I start on something, I'm all in and I'm going to go like as hard as I can at it. And she kind of limps into things and it frustrates me too. I'm like, come on, let's go, be all in.
Well, Sarah, I have to guess that when it comes to you and your husband, you're probably the more emotionally stable one.
I don't know. That would be an interesting question. I'm a therapist, so maybe.
Then
maybe
definitely.
I sure hope you're emotionally stable if you're a therapist. Like, what is it for you that you do that maybe people have accused you of being a bad person?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's sad when old people die.
Oh, okay. Now, on the surface, people would look at this and go, okay, Blair, you're the worst. Okay. But I don't think that of you, Blair, because I kind of get it.
I think it's more like, why are we surprised? Like the drama that comes around it on social media and whatnot. Like, oh, they were so great. Oh, this stuff happened and they're gone now. And it's like, what happened? And it's like, well, they were 90. What do you think?
Right, yeah. Bob Barker was 99 years old. It's not a shocker that this would happen. Okay.
And so my husband gives me a hard time.
Blair, what about, let's say, like in 50 years, you find yourself at an old folks' home and you've passed away. What do you want your grandkids to say about you?
She was awesome. She was sassy. She loved Jesus, and she gets to go be with him now. So all is good.
Yeah, and none of us are surprised. We saw it coming. Again, she was 114. Blair, that is a great one, and you're completely on point. Thank you for being on the show with us.
Thank you.
If you can't find Gavin, he's probably writing his story
Even though I don't really need to do a wee,
in the bathroom.
I'm going to do one anyway.
It's News-ish with Gavin.
Wally,
Yes.
I'm not going to call you old here.
Okay.
But what is it like working with people that are 20, maybe sometimes 30 years your junior?
It can be challenging because we have different frames of reference.
Yes.
And we have, so there'll be things I'll be talking about that you have no idea what I'm talking about. And then we have different work ethics and things like that. But we've changed that with you.
Oh, yeah. You've raised me to your level through blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
Lots of tears from you.
Yes, and I have to tell you, I'm so proud of you.
Thank
you
you.
are killing it with your job. But yeah, so we have there's just differences in the generations for sure.
Well, if you're someone who works with people a lot longer than you and you have a hard time connecting with them, then you and Wally, you're not the only ones because there's a quarterback in the NFL. His name is Matthew Stafford. He's 35 years old. He's the quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. And apparently his wife has kind of broke the news that he is having a harder time connecting with the younger players on his team.
And he needs to because he's the leader.
Exactly. And, for the age gap, it would be him at 35. Probably the younger guys on the team are rookies who are coming into the league at like 21 years old. So you're working with it's funny because it's a game, but they are working together. He's working with these Gen Z kids, and he says that the big disconnect is that they are full-time all the time on their cell phones. And he says that he's grown up in an NFL where guys are hanging out in the locker room playing
the camaraderie
cards.
of it.
Yeah, and these guys very much focused on solo brands, doing their own thing. His wife says that he has even gone to a bookmaker, and they've made this little picture book where he has the faces of his teammates, their names, and some of their interests, and he kind of goes through this logbook of his to try and understand his teammates. He says he feels like the dad of the team.
That's funny.
But he doesn't want to feel like the dad. He wants to feel like one of the guys.
Exactly. I get that. What?
I bet you do.
I feel like the dad. Yeah, there's something.
I'd say the grandpa.
And I have one really bad child. She just goes, like, she knows. She knows
He
it.
does.
Yeah, but I respect him for trying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really do. Like, and it's funny having like a dossier book on each of these people, like, to have to go through. It might be something that actually isn't a bad idea. However you implement it, because you still have to work with the younger generation.
Yeah.
If you're older, you have to. It's our worlds intersect more than they ever have from a business standpoint. And to be a good leader, you do have to try to understand them. You don't want to try to be them. And there are things that you can learn from them, and then there are things that they need to learn from you. And you've got to figure that stuff out.
But don't you think there are things that the older generation need to learn from the younger?
Yeah, I did say that. I just said that. Yeah, and one of the things the younger generation
I guess I would
do
like to hear
is
you
listen to the older generation.
I think I would like to hear you repeat it.
No, I'm not going to do that. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and every day I get the pleasure of sitting across from Betty Rock while she does her makeup, and I see the work that it takes. Let me walk carefully here.
Yeah.
The work you put into it that is totally unnecessary, but that you still choose to do on your own because it makes you feel great or what have you. So I think I navigated that.
Well done.
Yeah, I think I navigated that.
That was really good.
Yeah, but like the stuff you use, the utensils and the things.
Oh yeah.
As guys, we don't understand.
It's a craft.
Yeah.
For sure. I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and she was telling me that she had a new beauty secret, and I was like, "What is it?"
Please tell, girl.
And here's the thing: the beauty standards for women on trying to look ageless and no wrinkles is just so hard to live up to, and this is where it's gotten. So my friend said her big secret right now is snail mucin.
No.
So snail slime.
No.
So that stuff that you see that trails behind a snail as it's climbing across like concrete or something.
And this is
somebody's collecting this. And they say that it helps your skin stay soft and smooth. It
like
makes it glow. Yes, and it helps with like anti-aging with wrinkles and stuff. And so she bought for a hefty price a thing of snail slime to slather on her face.
It.
I would love to know the first person who looked at the snail trail there and was like, I think this will work. Let's put it on my face.
I looked into it.
No way.
Because I was like, how did this even start? Yeah. So it came from like, I guess in Chile, there's like a farm that these people were on, and snails were there. And they were having to pick the snails off and all this stuff. Well, they started noticing that their hands were really soft and smooth.
Really?
And they credited the snails for doing it. And so that's how it's turned into this huge business.
Fascinating. Okay, so here, that's a great beauty, or a beauty secret.
Yeah,
I am curious
guess.
if there I mean, it might work for somebody, I don't know. But I'm curious if there are others. Like, what is your beauty secret that you're willing to share right now? Because I'm sure somebody is like, okay, I'd like to find something for this or for that.
And it doesn't even, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter how ridiculous it sounds, because I got a friend that's rubbing snail slime all over her face.
Right, yeah. And so maybe you have found the thing. Because I guarantee you other women are like, yes, I want to know the thing, please. So what's yours? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's the number, 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. Okay, Beth, what is your beauty secret? Because that's what we're doing. Beauty secret.
It is castor oil.
Now, that's the stuff they used to give kids, like, and they hated to take it when they were sick and things like that back in the day. So castor oil, because it has a horrible taste, what do you do with it?
You rub it on your face as a moisturizer. Castor oil, if you will research it, has a plethora of things that you can use it for that actually work. If you have, like, as we get older, a lot of women get like these little skin tags on their neck. It gets rid of that. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's especially good if you have something like rosacea, eczema, anything like that.
I would much rather use castor oil than I would snail slime.
Yeah.
I'd rather use motor oil than snail slime. What is your secret there, Sonia?
Yes, I first wash my face with Pond's at night with a warm washcloth. And then once I dry it, I put on some cocoa butter. I figure if cocoa butter is good for the stretch marks after you have a baby, it's going to be good for my face.
Yeah, okay.
So,
is it kind of like when you put butter on a turkey, you know?
Oh, my gosh. Please don't never say that. How can you say that as a man that's been married for 30-something years, think that that's an okay thing to say?
Well, because I know when the turkey comes out of the oven, its skin is amazing.
Never compare a woman's body to a turkey.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and we have with us station manager Craig Vinson from our Florida stations in Tallahassee and Panama City, and obviously a hurricane just rolled through there, Idalia, last night. How are you guys doing today?
Well, it's always funny, to say it out loud because you know that just because you got lucky, maybe someone next to you didn't. But I would say overall, we fared much better than we thought. We all went to bed Tuesday night thinking it was coming straight for Tallahassee and the capital and the Big Bend area, and it just took that last-minute curve east. And so, certainly we've got trees down, we've got power outages, but for the most part, I think we certainly avoided major kind of widespread disaster, but there's definitely still people that are affected after the storm.
Are you guys back on the air? Because you were off the air for a little bit, right?
Yeah, we were off most of yesterday, and just thankfully the linemen were working overnight, and we finally got back on sometime late last night, early this morning. So we are back on the air.
Those guys are amazing, and they come from all these different states when we have situations like this, and they put in the hours, man, and get power restored to people. I know South Carolina is hurting. They're out of power for a lot of people, and they had severe flooding. Was the flooding a problem with you guys in Florida?
Yeah, definitely in certain areas, especially along the coast. But yeah, the storm surge definitely brought in a lot of water. Really, the big thing around here is there's a lot of rural, smaller cities that it's just hard for those linemen to get in when trees are down, and it's hard to reach kind of these more remote rural cities.
Well, I'm so glad that you guys are safe and that we're back on the air, and because you guys do updates and things like that to help people out and give information they need, as well as continuing, to bring music that's encouraging to people and a laugh here and there in the midst of some of these trying times. So thank you for all that you do. I'm going to put in a request for official Way FM hip waders for you because, like, in Florida, you're just going to need them, and you're going to continue to need them,
We'll get use out of them, that's for sure.
Greg, if somebody's watching all this go down, but they're not there, what's the best way they can help?
Convoy of Hope definitely still helping people in our area. And, just with what we saw with Michael, I got to work with him firsthand. Absolutely a great organization, and they are helping people right now. So you can definitely support through that way.
Yeah, all you have to do is text the word convoy to 91979, and we'll send you a link. Because you see the pictures on the news, you think, man, I wish there was something I could do. That is one of the best ways that you could help out. So, man, thank you. Stay safe, and we appreciate you, Craig.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it. On The Rock Report. Hey, Betty.
Actor Jake Gyllenhaal may be 42 years old, but that doesn't mean he still doesn't take the advice of his mom that she gave him back when he was a kid. And recently he shared what that advice was, and I think it's something that many of us could benefit from. So, Jake's mom always told him that if there was something new he wanted to learn about, He should go to a bookstore or the library and start in the kids section looking for books on the topic, and then gradually work your way up into the adult section, which with more depth reading.
That's funny, because sometimes the kids' explanation probably will be the best.
Well, they dumb it down a little bit.
Well, think about it. You probably don't remember this stuff. Maybe you do. Schoolhouse Rock from back in the day. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. I mean, like, that landed with me. I'm like, oh my gosh. Conjunction,
now you understand.
Junction. What's your function? It's like I learned stuff from that because it was dumbed down, you know?
Well, and that's a perfect example. Like, I was thinking, what are some things that I should understand at my age that I don't?
Yeah.
And one of those things is the branches of the U.S. government.
Yeah.
They are so difficult to understand. I don't get it. So I looked up, like, on Amazon to see, are there any kids' books about that?
Sure.
And it turns out they are.
Yeah.
And the covers are pretty colorful and fun. Like, I think I could learn this.
There you go. Legislative, judicial, and executive. I'm just showing off there because I spent time with Schoolhouse Rock.
But ask him where Alaska and Hawaii are.
Couldn't tell you.
And he couldn't tell you.
I'm going to need to make a trip to the kids section to find that.
Where'd you hear that?
The internet.
And you believed it?
Yeah, they can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
So I am sure, this is the Wally Show, by the way, I am sure that you are well-versed with Google. You can find out a bunch of information. I get it. It's fine. But I like to Yougle things. I like to talk to people like you, real people that maybe have experience. That, and I hate to read. So you can help me out right now. I have an issue. My wife's name is Marty, and it's Mardi, so it's spelled like Mardi Gras. And there will be so many times where I'm typing a text to her on my phone, and I have an iPhone, and it will autocorrect it to Marcy, to which always brings up, who's Marcy? And why is your phone autocorrecting me to Marcy? Fair question. I don't know a Marcy. But if somewhere Google, or maybe I mistyped it once, and Google in its autocorrecting genius now always tries to autocorrect it. And there's a couple other words like that in my phone, and it drives me nuts. I'm curious, is there a way to retrain your autocorrect or clear its memory so that you can start over?
There has to be.
You would think, right?
Yeah, there has to be. And I think, I don't know the answer, but I'm sure there's someone that does, and you need to get it fixed ASAP.
Absolutely. So maybe you've been through this before and you got so tired of it always correcting your words into something that wasn't even what you wanted to say. I need your help. So this is where we Yougle it. We're turning it over to you. I don't want to Google it. I want real people, real experience. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. If you have any experience with this and can help out, I would love to hear it now.
Where'd you hear that?
The internet.
And you believed it?
Yeah, they can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. Nick, welcome to Yougle It. This is where I know I could Google things, but I want to talk to people just like you, and I'm hoping you can help me out. My autocorrect on my iPhone corrects my wife's name of Marty, M-A-R-D-I, to Marcy, who I do not know a Marcy, and I don't want to accidentally text my wife Marcy. How do I get my autocorrect to stop correcting my thing?
So, unfortunately, I can't help you with the autocorrect thing. I guess I didn't listen to the rest of your plea.
Nick's like, I can't really help you with this, but have you ever thought about changing your wife's name to Marcy? You know?
Yeah, just start calling her Marcy. I think that's probably the easiest solution.
It might be easier than changing my phone. You're absolutely right. All right, Jennifer, you're up. I'm hoping you can help me Yougle this here. How do I get my autocorrect to change its parameters on what it is autocorrecting?
Hey, Wally. So, yes, if you go to your settings, go to General,
Settings,
go to Keyboard.
Okay.
Whoa, he only uses his index finger. He is older. He's on the first step.
I only use my right thumb.
Okay,
so.
General, Keyboard, I'm with you. Okay, I got you.
And then text replacement.
Oh, I got it.
It replaces the text.
So I have text replacement. Then what do I do?
Okay, so you're going to go to the plus sign,
Mm-hmm.
and in the phrase, put Marty.
Okay, capital M-A-R-D-I. Got it.
And then the shortcut, Mar.
Oh, okay, capital M-A-R.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've already tested this. Once I actually go back to my messages, if I text Mar, it's going to come up for Marty.
Oh, I love this. Okay, well, man, that sounds pretty great. Let me try this in a real-world scenario here. I'm going to text my wife, M-A-R-D-I. Oh, my goodness, that worked. That is so good.
It's literally my job. I troubleshoot things like
that is
every
great.
day. So.
Jennifer, do you have like elderly parents that you have to walk through these kind of things with? Do you feel like you're on the phone?
They're not elderly as much as they are boomers. So,
Gotcha.
Well, Wally is practically a boomer.
I'm on the edge. I'm Gen X, but I lean boomer. Well, man, I got to tell you, Jennifer, you have helped me out. And this is exactly why we Yougle things.
Yeah!
You're the best.
Well, anytime you need any help, I'm right here to help.
I saw that going differently in my mind.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. I know you might not always feel like your opinion is valued or like your voice is heard, and that's why we do Mind Blown. It's to make you feel more confident when you enter into conversation so that you can have something to say and have something to offer. I think it's really important if you can tap into having nuggets that relate to things that everybody else are already talking about. For example, recently there was the super blue moon, which, by the way, at nighttime was not blue and kind of okay.
It looked like a moon.
Yeah. Now, later on, towards the end of the night, it definitely got like whiter. I never really felt it was blue.
But you are colorblind, too.
That's what I did think. I thought it didn't really get blue, but it was really clear. And so what you would do is you would take something like that. Look, Betty Rock is like this good-looking girl who would never talk to Gavin or me. Yeah, and then all of a sudden she's in here, like she's having this conversation. And so this is where you'd bust that out. Yeah, oh, yeah, I didn't really get to see it. Hey, did you know that India recently became the 4th country to land a ship on the moon? Oh. Like that same super blue moon we were looking at, they landed a ship on it, and they did it in the South Pole region of the moon, which is important because there might be water reserves there. And if we ever want to colonize the moon, water is important.
I'm bored.
What?
I feel like this is news that's been going on for centuries. Like, there's always somebody landing on the moon. There could be life there. There could be water. Like, blah, 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 blah. Either do it or don't.
Oh. Yeah. She just took your mind-blowing fact and just crumpled it up.
She's cute, but she's an empty vase.
She's shallow.
Okay, well that didn't work. So, still on the moon tip here. Did you know? You said a lot of people have tried. Mm-hmm. Well, did you know? See, I always gonna be ready. Did you know that Russia recently, as recently as like this last week, tried to land on the moon and they crashed? Yeah. Still not impressive.
Duh.
Do you know that it would take 22 people to colonize Mars, they say?
Well, you get a tough crowd today.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm honestly tired of talking about space.
Okay, well... Whew.
All right, guys. I got 5 more minutes on my break, so I'm going to go.
My goal was to fill up that space between her ears, but apparently that didn't work.
Ew.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and Betty Rock is our resident scooper. She tries to make your life a little bit better with different things that she's found or tried, and we call it the scoop. So what do you got?
So I think a lot of us in the warmer months, we want to save on our energy bill by trying to keep the place cool as much as we can. And so I found this scoop on TikTok. You can learn a lot on TikTok, but this is how to keep your room 8 degrees cooler than any other room in your house.
My wife knows this scoop, and she just turns the AC down to 34. My house is so... I will literally go outside to warm up, and she's like, why are you so cold? And she wears a jacket, a sweatshirt in the house. I'm like, well, that's why.
Yeah.
Like, that's too much. My air conditioner the other day, I walked by it outside when I was warming up, and I heard it go, help me. So I would love to find another way to do this.
That wouldn't cost you money. So this one is free. So what you do is your blinds, they have like where they bubble out. So there's the front and the back. And I'm talking about like those cheap type plastic blinds, not the ones that if you live in a bougie neighborhood with the wooden ones, this may not help as much. I'm not sure. But when you turn the rod to make them where the blinds are, the bubble part is facing out towards like the out area, well, then it's going to reflect or deflect the sun. And so it keeps it a lot darker in that room. And because it does that, then the room stays cooler. So typically, I think most of us would think with blinds, you're like, well, it doesn't matter whichever way I turn them. Like, it's going to be the same. But that's not true. So if you notice the next time you're like closing your blinds, if you turn them one way where the bubble side is facing outside, then the sun won't be near as bright in that room. And that's going to help your energy bill in a big way.
Because I guess that when you have the bubble side facing out, there's a way that it's the blinds are either facing more up or more down, and so it makes sense if they're down, more light would be coming in, and thereby bringing more heat into the house.
And so you could see, like in the cooler months, that might be nice to have the sun coming in, but in the warmer months, you want it dark so that it stays cooler.
Well, there you go. And if you have no concern for finances whatsoever, and you love wearing parkas in your house, just turn your AC down to 34. You'll stay really nice too, like my wife.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.